Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And look, I have a level 92 Shion. How did that happen? We don't talk about it, okay? We just live with the fact that we have a 92 Shion, okay? So let's zip it, not judge me for any interesting things that I may have done to come to this point. So regardless, she she is a magic damage dealer. She has attack growth. She uses a hammer. She is an AOE unit, 255. When you get her 6-star, if you get her 6-star, she's 295%, and then you get another 5%, which makes it 300% AOE normal damage. First skill, guaranteed pierce and 30% pierce power, so I mean, that's cool and everything. Her second skill is the charm, enamor. We're going to call it charm, alright? From this point forward, I know I said this already, but we're going to call it charm. Even Charm's a single target for 3 turns, which increases the secret skill gauge of Vanguard allies at the end of the enemy's turn by 15%. So, every time an enemy ends their turn, you just gain 15% alt gauge. So, I mean, it's free and easy. And it's really not, it's not that expensive either. And then also increases own charm strike by 15%. So, if you do happen to charm someone, you will do an extra 15% damage. Now, we're going to have to see if, like, you do 15% damage to that one charmed enemy, or just 15% damage to everybody in an AoE setting. So we're going to try and test it out and determine if we do like 20k over here, but then like 15k over here, or whatever it'll add math up to, or if it'll just be 20k across the board because somebody is charmed, and therefore we get the attack buff regardless. So we'll have to test that out. Let's see, what else? Her ability, her EX board, which I did do since she is supposed to be the primary DPS of space. She gets extra pierce power when Sufia is on the team, which is good because Sufia is an orb changer, and she also has a charm skill. So we'll try her out on a multitude of teams, and I guess we'll see how it goes, I guess. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, so this is the first team we're going to use. Look, we also have the new Ramiris. It's incredible. I don't know how it happened. We don't talk about that either. Alright, so we're going to run Misery, who is a space unit. Buffs greens, also a healer. I put a heal charm on Ramiris, the AoE heal charm for like 8% or something like that. Maybe it's 6, I don't know. But so she's going to buff greens. Velzard and Sufia are here to change to greens, so Velzard changes blues, Sufia changes oranges, Velzard also has frostbite, so I mean, whoop-de-doo. The hero, obviously, as, you know, a very competent AoE nuker, and then the new Shion as the primary nuker, who, because she's not 100, has lower stats than the hero. But we're going to test a few things here. We're going to see the charm effect happen, and then also determine if the charm attack is only for the one charmed unit, or if it's for everybody because it's just a flat buff when you get it. So that's what we're going to do here for a couple runs, I think, against the moderate Harlequin Alliance. So, what's the hand we start out with? Okay. Okay, I mean, it could be worse. So, I think what we'll do is we'll bring Shion in for Misery, and then I think we send these oranges and blues to try and open up a hand next turn. So let's actually hit Footman, since he's a little bit tankier. And we can also see some damage, even though he's got defense and guard. So, okay, yeah, not great. Okay, perfect. Perfect. We got a good Velzard change right here. So let's do that. And then we should have enough, yep, to bring Misery back in, and then use her green buff, and then this will get us quite a bit. Now, one thing to note that was pointed out to me, I have been reading Ramiris' skill a little bit incorrectly. increases skill points by 40 is not a skill cap increase like I've been saying, because I just misread it and I've been going with it. But it's just like Hakuro and Toa. You just get 40 points. So whether or not that's good, I guess we'll find out, because we're going to get her next turn. So let's do that. Let's actually bring the hero in for Velzard. Right? It doesn't really matter, actually. We'll just do this. Alright, so we're going to send this on Footman again. 1 damage. Awesome. 2,396 damage. Okay, so they really don't like Velzard. Okay, so let's go ahead and... So Ramiris' skill works well with Shion's skill, because Shion's going to charm. She can charm 1 person for 15% alt gauge, which is good. And this lasts for 3 turns. Both of these effects last for 3 turns. So let's go charm Footman over here. So now, he's got that effect on him. Enamor, turn remaining 3. With Sufia, she also has the same skill. So let's take Velzard out because she's getting hit. So Sufia also has a charm, but for 1 turn, and obviously it's not leveled up because I haven't really, but all my points went to the tickets. However, it's good to note that you cannot double charm an enemy on this team. So if I try to put another charm on Footman, it wouldn't work, and we would just be running with Shion's 15%. But if I charm Tear now, or Tear, I don't know, but we can charm her, and now, because we have 2 separate targets who are charmed, we're going to get the 7% plus the 15% on the entire team. And then we can do this, and this will give us 40 points. This will also... I guess we can watch it, it's the first time. This will also give us 15% space attack, and also give us 45% alt gauge. So you combine the 45 from Ramiris, the 15 from Shion, so that's 60%, and then the 7% from Sufia. So you're actually going to get 67% alt gauge when this turn is over. And now that we have all these points, we can then use Sufia's Orb Change. We already swapped Velzard out, so we can't use that anymore, which is unfortunate. But, I mean, this works pretty well, and so then now we're going to get an alt and then some, and then Sufia with no alt gauge is going to get a lot of alt gauge. So let's go ahead and send this on Tear. Correct me if I'm wrong. It could be Tear like Tear. I think it's Tear because she's crying on her mask. So there's that. Here's that attack, and then we get a cheeky counter, and then charm, and then boom, boom. There we go. So there is that. So we got 67% alt gauge on Sufia, who started with nothing. So, I mean, this team is good for rushing alts. Now, what we want to test here is the secondary effect of Shion's charm, where it gives her own Enamor Strike plus 15%. So we're going to send this alt right here. Footman is charmed, Tear is not, and I want to see if we do additional damage to Footman, or if we do the same damage across the board, and that will be, I think, very telling. So let's do this. We can watch Shion's ult. I don't want to send anything else because I don't want to kill accidentally, because I do want to keep this fight going. I really like that Shion just smacks the crap out of people with a frying pan. She went from smacking people with a fork to smacking people with a frying pan, so I can't wait to see what she smacks people with next. 7,000 and 11,000 damage. However, Tear has defense now, so maybe that wasn't the best showing as far as an unbiased damage. So maybe we wait again, because we have another ult for her, because Ramiris is still giving us 45% for 3 turns. Shion gave us another 15% for, another turn. So now, Sufia has an ult for doing absolutely nothing. Shion has an ult again, even though we just used it. And Misery has 2 ults now. So that's the power, that's the gimmick of this whole team, is that you're pretty much never without an ult. And especially if you bring Misery, or you bring Isis and your greens are boosted, and you have orb changing, then you can pretty much always have Ramiris going, and so you can always have at least 45% alt gauge coming to you on every turn. So we can now, do this orb change, and then we can, I guess, I guess we can bring you in for Misery, and then we could use your orb change. Okay, and then I guess we can give her some ult gauge after this, right? So I don't want to send Shion's ult again, because I want to wait till their defenses are both gone, and I can charm Footman again. So that's fine. Pop, 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 and okay, counter. Okay, so hopefully they don't reapply any of these defensive buffs. Okay, and yeah, there's... Alright, so now Velzard has the ult, Shion has a double ult, Sufia again has an ult. Alright, so now we will test it out. So let's go ahead and charm you again, and then we get Charm Strike, and now we'll test it. As since they don't have any additional defenses or modifiers, now we can determine, you know, if we do a flat base damage or if we do extra damage to Footman. So we'll do this. 10 and 11,000. I don't know if that's just the variance of their stats, but I kind of am thinking that I think it's just a flat buff. Like, what's your defense at? 87. What's your defense at? Yeah, okay. So I think, based on, because she has like 1,000 point lower defense, that would account for about the 1,000 point difference in damage, that if you have anyone charmed on the other side of the team, Shion will just do a flat extra 15% damage to everyone. So, okay, that's good to know. We have triple ults again. So let's go ahead and I guess we'll do the Pierce now. And then we'll send everything. And then maybe we end this fight. So Velzard, 5,000, that's not very good. Sufia, 4,000, that's also not good. Her gear is like 2-star right now, 17,000. Alright, will she kill here, though? She did not kill. Oh, wow. Okay, so we definitely need another buffer on this team to help out the DPS. Velzard might die, hold on. Oh, yeah, Velzard's dead. Okay, well, at least we got some science done on this fight. And the whole point was not to, you know, clear this, but was to determine how well this works. And then there's the charm again. So it you know, you saw you did it twice, so it got like the 15 and then it got the 45%. So that's the order of operations. So, I mean, from like turn 3 or 4, we've always had an ult. Always. For doing very, very minimal things. So that is the power of this team. Let's try it out in a more realistic and where I'm actually kind of trying to beat it. Let's try another stage. Okay. We're going to try out EX2 of the old Space Tempered Edge, the Space 2.0 Tempered Edge, because it is also AOE based. We have 3 targets up here, and you have to keep them relatively at the same amount of HP, just, you know, lower and lower and lower and lower until you can kill. So because we're going to be sending ults pretty much every turn, and will be boosted at least some of the time, I think this team can also clear it. Obviously, like, Velzard's only level 80, Sufia's 88 with like 4-star gear, not even 5-star right now. Definitely not awakened, so this might be a push, but we're gonna try it out. So we will we'll see, because this is meant to be run with Guy, because they nerf blues and oranges, which is fine because this is again a meta focused on greens, which is why we're bringing Misery. Could have easily brought Isis for the orb changing, but we already have Velzard here to do that. And we have another space unit, so it's just kind of giving us stats. So let's see what the first opening hand looks like. Unfortunately, old Tempered Edges are not set hands, so we kind of got to live with that. Let's get you out of here. Let's get you out of here. All right. Yeah, we'll do this. I don't know if this is actually going to work. I have difficulty with this stage still. Hopefully we don't get binded, but I think we do, so I should not have swapped out my orb changers. Okay, that's a misplay right there. Okay. How long are we binded for? 3 turns? 2 more turns. Alright, well, we might as well just send these then. The hero will get us our trait, our Ramiris, because we've got the hero and Rimuru attached. So, I mean, I guess that's something. Pop, pop, and pop, and pop. Cool. So let's start sending damage on other people now. Okay, that's a lot of blues that I don't want to deal with. Okay, so now let us begin charming. So we're going to charm you. We're going to charm you. That's all the points we have. And then we will use Ramiris to give us the extra gauge at the end of the turn. We've also got the heal charm, so we got a little bit back from that. We've given ourselves 40 points, which, I mean, we could use to orb change, but it'd be a pretty big waste. So let's just send these blues that are nerfed. At least they're not protection gauge nerfed, so we can actually get some of this back. And then we should have alts for everybody. Almost everybody. Maybe not the hero, but we'll see. There's a heal. Okay. So charm, bit, and then, okay. Oh, we charm the same person. Okay, so see, there's that in effect where I did not switch targets, so we technically charmed Dino twice, but only one of those took effect because they don't stack like that. Ramiris' thing is different than the actual charm effect. She just gives us this little buff right here, but then this buff over here is for the charm. So that's unfortunate. We are no longer binded, though, so we can orb change here if we wanted to, which I think we will do. So there's that. Let's get the hero out of here. And will we have enough to... Yes, we'll have enough to do that orb change, and then we will have enough to buff the greens with Misery. Okay. Misery, also being a single target healer, can, help us survive a little bit. So let's go ahead and send these alts. Oh, we can pierce, though. Hold on, let's do that. As long as they don't have pierce resistance, which I actually should check. Crit resistance and guard rate for everybody. Okay, so that's fine. Do a little bit extra damage here. And let's send that, and then I guess we'll send pop, 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 and then pop on Milim. That'll get us another Ramiris, so cool. 6,000 damage, not good. 21,000 damage is a little bit better. Okay, so what I'd really like to do is I'd really like to get triple ult with like the hero, with Velzard, and with Shion. With Shion's pierce and then the crit damage. So there's that. So we have another ult for Shion, another ult for Sufia. So let's heal now, because we kind of are looking a little low on Shion. Alright, and then... Let's see, we can get Velzard in here. Yeah. Oh, the hero will not... Oh, the hero does have it. Okay, so let's do Ramiris again, and that'll give us 40 points, so we can use the orb change for Velzard. And then we can get Velzard out of here for the hero, who also has the Ramiris skill still on her. So we're definitely going to get an ult for her next turn. And maybe not everyone else, depending. Hold on. So, pop, pop, and then we'll send this on Valentine. Or we'll send this on Milim, I guess. Okay. So, Sufia, 6,300. 21,000. Pop, pop, pop. And then a counterattack, because why not? And then this will go on to Milim. 20,000 is good. It's good damage right there. Okay, the hero has an ult now. That's excellent. Valentine's going to ult somebody. Alright, they really hate Shion. Alright, and then we'll get a whole bunch. We'll get another Sufia ult. And we got another... Okay, so there we go. We got, because of the 45% from Ramiris and then the 15% from Shion's last remaining charm, we got triple ult again. Plus, we now have the Pierce and Pierce power on Shion. We have enough to do the crit, and also the rewind. So we're going to do that. Unfortunately, no orb changing here is to be done. But I think we should still have enough to get another thing of Ramiris going next turn. So let's go ahead and send all this, and then I guess the blue, because that'll get us, yeah, Ramiris. So we'll send these three alts. So pop 8,600 with the crit. 30,000 with the ult from Shion, and then 23,000 there. We're all still looking pretty even on the health right here. The rewind kicks in. I don't think it gives... No, it does not give additional gauge at the end of this turn. Like, burn on the rewind actually does burn damage, because it's the end of your turn, which technically that was the end of a turn. But did not work quite like that. So... I think... what can we do here? We can't use any skills because we don't have enough points, so let's try and... Well, we'll have 59 points, actually. What can we do? What can we do? So... I think we'll take out Sufia. And we'll bring in Misery, and then we'll boost the greens. So we'll put Ramiris again. There's a little bit of a heal, and then we'll buff the greens. And then hopefully this is enough to get us Shion's ult alongside the 45%. So pop, 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 pop. Hero and Shion still have crits. We're at least going to get the hero ult, guaranteed. Alright, counterattack, fine, whatever. Alright, 15,000. Okay, not enough to kill. That's almost a whole hand of Shion, though. That's good. Alright, there's an ult. Crit resistance, guard rate, instant damage. There's a little bit of a heal. Alright, cool. Okay, so we got a Misery... we got a Misery ult, and we got a hero ult, and a full hand of Shion. So that's pretty good right there. Let's go ahead and pierce again with Shion, just to make sure we have enough damage. We're going to try and kill... okay, let's actually... So... Let's send this on Valentine so she can't heal. Let's send that, and hopefully this will kill Milim, and then we'll make sure that Valentine is dead. I think everyone should die except for Dino. So, oh, that didn't do shit. Okay. Okay, good thing we sent all that and spread it out. So everyone is dead except Dino. This will do a lot of damage. And no one else can heal him now. So he'll do a single target. That's fine. And then we have a double ult with Shion. So this will finish it up. Let's go ahead and use the crit again. And then we can end this. So, okay. I see how this team is supposed to work. And, you know... In theory, it can work. I expect the next two units to either increase the amount of charm percentage you get, or lower their resistances and debuff them like Space 2.0 did. So, I mean, that was a very in-depth kind of battle where we used pretty much everything. Let's take Shion on not a team with Ramiris now. Let's put her with Guy instead. Okay, so we swapped out Ramiris for Guy. We brought in Isis for the blue changing, because assuming that you don't have Velzard, Sufi is free, Misery is free. So Misery is the healer, also the green buffer. Her buff is not as significant as Isis. It's 35% versus 50, but she does give you damage on the greens. So, I mean, you combine those and you get 50% gauge boost with Isis, 15% damage. I mean, that's pretty good right there. And then we have Sufi again for the orange orb changing the hero, and then Shion as our DPS. We're going to go into Crucible 90, where we have two enemies, Milim and Hakuro, and we'll see how well this team works. Honestly, like, if you happen to have Guy, I don't see yourself running into too many issues with ults. I think you can probably get the same amount of ults as you would with Ramiris, with the addition of orb changing and the AoE debuff. It's just that the AoE debuff is 15%. You're trading that for the 15% space attack that Ramiris gives. It all kind of is up to RNG, though, but maybe it's a little bit less RNG because Guy has the orb changing. He just doesn't give you skill points when you use him. So that is something. So let's burn out these oranges, because I don't want them. Let's get Isis out of here, because you don't really matter. Let's get Sufia out of here. And then we'll send these. Hopefully we get a perfect orb change next turn with Isis. And we do. Wow, okay, things are working out. Alright, so defense down. That's fine. So let's go ahead and buff with... let's see. No, actually, no. We don't have to do that. We can just do this. So let's get you out of here. You have no orbs anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We'll green, and then we'll buff for 3 turns. There we go. So we have our 2 DPSs with most of the cards. So pop, 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 pop. Alright, there's an ult, there's an ult, there's, you know, maximum points, there's a meter and a half of Guy. So next turn we're guaranteed 2 ults, and then we can use Guy to get us a full hand of green. And then, I mean, this team also runs pretty well. So, okay, you're attacking, that's fine, whatever. So we have 100 points now. We could bring Misery in now for Isis. And then we could use her buff, which won't really take effect. So you can see that the green, the 50% is obviously better than the 30%, but we still retain the 15% damage that Misery is giving to greens. So then we use Guy. This will get the AoE debuff on the enemies. It will give us a full hand of green. So now we're ready to go. And then we can then use the Pierce and the crit. And then I think we just win. And then once we send this whole hand, we're going to have another ult for the hero. We're going to have an ult and change probably for Misery. And I don't think we're going to get much from Shion. But it is what it is. Yeah, we won't get anything for Shion. But we will have almost 2 ults for the hero. 39k, goodbye Millum. And then the hero, 32k. Because hero doesn't have that Pierce buff. So yeah, I mean, whether you're using Guy, whether you're using Ramiris, like, things can work. There are enough units that buff greens that are free to make any green team work out. So, I mean, if you wanted to, you could put Shion on, like, Dark Veldora's team. He buffs magic, right? That could be something to do. Or you could put Shion on, like, the light 3.0 team. I might do that for a video. Those might be 2 video ideas of using them with, you know, those meta protectors who are recent and people I think summon for at least Veldora. So yeah, so that's a good showing that we can start off with for Shion. She can do interesting things when the opportunity arises. Now, will you have a lot of opportunities outside of this specific meta to actually use her in everyday content? Not really, because most of the event stages, most of the Crucible stages are single targets and wanting you to do big mommy damage. And Shion can do okay damage with some setup, but she's an AoE, so she's just inherently weaker. So she'll be good for Jubilee. Should be good for this beatdown stage, which is just Tempered Edge. Outside of that, though, it's going to be relegated to the same thing as Space 2.0, where you're not really going to use her. So, she can look okay. Her outfit looks good. Her animations look solid. Just as a usable unit in 60% of content, not really going to be too helpful. So let me know what you guys think of this initial Shion showcase. I will take her on to the other teams that focuses on greens, or maybe not greens, but more piercing. So this will not be the last Shion video that I do. But let me know what your guys' initial thoughts are. But that's it for me. Take it easy, and I'll see you later.